There are many versions of the carnivore diet, but the question is, which one is right for you? Hey carnivore family, welcome back. If you're new to our channel, my name is Cassie. My husband Larry and I have been consistently eating a carnivore diet for the last 3 years. In that time, I've lost almost 100 pounds and have improved my health in so many ways. Throughout my journey, I've dipped my toes in every version of the carnivore diet. And just within the last few years, I finally found out what works for me. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have some insight of which version of the carnivore diet will work best for you. And veterans, don't forget to comment below and help the newbies out. First, let's briefly talk about what the carnivore diet is. In its most basic form, it's a diet that focuses entirely on animal-based foods. That means no fruits, no veggies, no grains, so basically no sugar and no carbohydrates. Just meat, eggs, fish, and animal-based fats. Now, there are some nuances when it comes to seasonings and dairy, but more on that later. Some people do carnivore for weight loss, others to improve mental health, or heal conditions like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and a whole host of other medical issues. But not all carnivore diets are the same, so let's break it down into the different versions. The first version of the carnivore diet that we'll be talking about is the most strict, and that is the lion diet. The lion diet only consists of beef, salt, and water. That's it. This diet is designed for those who are extremely sensitive to foods, especially those dealing with autoimmune disorders or chronic health issues. By eliminating all other foods, including eggs, dairy, and fish, many who suffer from conditions like chronic fatigue or joint pain report significant improvements on the lion diet. Now, I told you earlier I dipped my toes in every version of the carnivore diet, and I did the lion diet, and let me tell you, it's tough. You can't have coffee, you can't have butter, you can't have any seasonings. It is salt, water, and beef. Now, I only made it for 3 weeks, but during that time, I had given up the coffee, dairy, and I felt amazing. I felt the best I ever did, but I have to tell you, it's very restrictive, and it's just not for me. Before we get into the next version of the carnivore diet, let's thank the sponsor of today's video, Armor Colostrum. Armor Colostrum works all the way down at the cellular level. It harnesses the power of over 400 bioactive nutrients, like peptides, antibodies, and antioxidants to help support your gut health, immune system, and so much more. And there are more than 5,000 scientific studies backing colostrum's benefits. Armor is the only colostrum to use cold chain biopotent pasteurization technology, which keeps Armor's over 400 bioactive nutrients active and functional. And I love the fact that Armor uses calf first sourcing. That means all the baby cows get their nutrients first. I've been taking 3 scoops of Armor Colostrum every day for months now, and my regularity has improved, my skin is glowing, my hair is thick and healthy, but the biggest improvement I've noticed is my nails. My nail beds are a beautiful pink. They're so healthy, so much longer, and so much stronger. I work in retail, and it seemed like every time I would move a box, I would break another nail. But since taking Armor Colostrum, my nails are so much healthier and stronger, I couldn't tell you the last time I broke a nail, and I love that. If you'd like some more info or want to pick some up for yourself, check out our link below at tryarmor.com/Carnivore Quest. That'll get you 15% off your first order, or you can use code Carnivore Quest at checkout for that 15% off. Thanks again, Armor, for sponsoring today's video. The next version of the carnivore diet we're going to talk about is bbbe, also known as the bbbe challenge. Developed by Dr. Ken Berry, this version of carnivore consists of only beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Like the lion diet, only salt is allowed for seasoning. This version is perfect for those looking to keep things simple, but still have a bit of variety in texture and flavor. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs provide an excellent balance of protein and fat, making it great for satiety and muscle preservation. This version is often used as a 30-day reset, helping to reduce cravings and support fat loss, while still being more enjoyable than the strict lion diet. If I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. For me, the bbbe challenge was an absolute game changer. If you can complete 30 days of bbbe, you are going to learn so much about yourself, especially when your body is really hungry. And after only 30 days of eating only beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, you are going to absolutely eliminate your carb cravings. Now, I have to say, it's not as strict as the Lion diet, but you will experience some food aversion. You're going to get tired of those foods. You know, I'm Italian and I like all the big flavors, you know, seasonings and textures. And it was quite difficult for me to complete the bbbe challenge, but it really did make the difference for me. And I honestly believe if it weren't for that first bbbe challenge, I wouldn't be down almost 100 pounds today. You know, the great thing about the proper human diet spectrum is you can make it your own. Now, although bbbe is beef, butter, bacon, eggs, salt, you can have coffee, but the very first challenge and everyone after that, I've had cream in my coffee. Now, it still worked for me. I believe it's what got me through, but I do look forward to the day where I can complete the bbbe challenge without any cream. But don't hold your breath. The bbbe challenge isn't just beef. You can have all ruminant animals. And some say the same thing about lion. You can have ruminant, but it really all depends on who you talk to. But one last thing about the bbbe challenge, if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend you do because it'll change your life. Now, we've made a ton of content on the bbbe challenge, and I'll leave a playlist at the end card. The next version of the carnivore diet we're going to talk about is nose to tail. Basically, that's nose to the tail. As the name suggests, this version encourages you to eat all the animal, not just the muscle, meat, and fat. That includes organs like kidneys, liver, and heart, as well as bone marrow, collagen, and even animal fats like suet. The idea here is to get a full spectrum of nutrients, especially vitamins and minerals that may be missing in a standard carnivore diet. Proponents suggest that eating nose to tail is the most nutrient-dense and sustainable version of the carnivore diet. Now, I've seen in our private Facebook group, Carnivore Quest community, a few people refer to themselves as nose to tail carnivores. And that's totally fine. I personally wouldn't refer to it as a version of the carnivore diet because you can have organ meats on both the Lion diet and the bbbe challenge, right along with any other version of carnivore. But the name nose to tail sounds kind of cool. If you don't know about our private Facebook group, you can just put it in the search Carnivore Quest community, and there's also Carnivore Quest for women. Just answer a few questions and we'll get you right in. New people are always coming in, and we have a ton of veterans that are always willing to help out. And the next version I have for you is General Carnivore. General Carnivore is pretty easy to explain. It's just like every other version on the carnivore diet, except you can eat every animal. Fish, pork, beef, deer, bison, you name it. If it walks, flies, or swims, you can eat it. Yes! Now, some people just do a strict version of the general carnivore diet and they just use salt to season. And we're going to talk a little more about seasonings here in a few minutes. And now for our next version, dairy inclusive carnivore. And some people call it an animal-based diet. Now, I told you I dip my toes in every version of carnivore, but for the most part, this is where I stay. Dairy inclusive carnivore includes full fat dairy products like cheese, butter, yogurt, and heavy cream. It's a great version for those looking for more variety and fat options in their diet. While some people thrive with dairy, others find that it causes digestive issues and inflammation. So this one is more personalized depending on how your body reacts to dairy. Now, it's taken me nearly 3 years to lose almost 100 pounds. And I honestly believe that if I hadn't included the dairy, I would have lost the weight a lot faster. But I also know that by including dairy, it's definitely helped keep me on track, given me some variety, and it just made the diet a little more sustainable for me. And that is so important because if you can't stick to the diet, it's not going to work. Now, I've definitely had spurts where I've been super strict and I haven't had dairy, whether I was on the bbbe challenge or the Lion diet. But for the most part, dairy is a part of my life, and I have to think that it always will be. And I can't go the rest of my life without making the occasional cheesy carnivore recipe. This is a mixture of freshly shredded mozzarella and cheddar cheese. That'll be going in the crust. I have some freshly shredded Parmesan cheese. This is gonna be for the topping. I have absolute fresh whole milk mozzarella, and then I have mozz and cheddar here. We've got cream cheese.
That's a lot of cheese.
Before we get to the last version of the carnivore diet, let's talk about seasonings. Now, unless I'm doing a strict challenge, I include seasonings. Pretty much anything that I want. Larry and I, we can tolerate it. We don't have any issues with it, but you do have to be mindful that they can be a little on the carby side. And because it can change the flavor profile of what you're consuming, it can cause you to overeat. So just be careful. One of the coolest things about the carnivore diet is you can make it your own. It's your body, your health, your Carnivore Quest. Who's to say you can't do the bbbe challenge and have a little cream? Or the lion diet and enjoy a cup of coffee? And as you start your journey, you'll learn to listen to your body and you'll eventually find out what works for you. And the last version of the carnivore diet that I have for you is Ketovore. This is a combination of the carnivore diet and the ketogenic diet. While the majority of your meals are still centered around animal-based foods, Ketovore allows for small amounts of low-carb plant-based foods, like leafy greens, avocado, or certain vegetables. Ketovore is perfect for those who want the simplicity and benefits of a meat-based diet, but still want to include some variety from non-animal foods. Many people find this approach easier to sustain in the long term, especially when dining out or socializing. Now, when Larry and I first started the channel, we both started with general carnivore, but I found that it was a little too strict for me, causing me to fall. So I took a step back and I went Ketovore. And I did really well on that for about a month, but then we did our first bbbe challenge. And I was able to go the full 30 days eating beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, maybe a little cream. And I know in my heart that I wouldn't have been able to complete the bbbe challenge if I hadn't stepped back and done Ketovore. Because Ketovore allowed me to ease into an animal-based diet and get used to eating all of that meat. Not only is Ketovore a great place to start if you're coming off the standard American diet, but I feel I'll end up there once I hit my goal weight, because there is no way I'm going the rest of my life without an avocado. Just gonna scoop out the meat from the avocados.
You right.
So there you have it. Whether you're going to do the lion diet for healing or adding a little bit of flexibility with Ketovore, there's a version of the carnivore diet that can work for you. The best part about it is you can tailor it to your needs and goals like I did. It was so good to see y'all. I appreciate you stopping by for a few minutes. It'd be really sweet of you if you hit the like button before you go, and don't be afraid to share this video. And no matter what version of the carnivore diet you're doing, remember, no sugar, no carbs, no cheating. Love y'all.